Hello. Hello, good evening, everyone. Am I audible? Am I visible? So, good evening, everyone. It's 4:33. I think it's time to start. Um, Super. So, good evening and welcome, everyone, to the webinar, The Perfect Time to Upskill by Step the Hindu Group. I'm Bonnie Jose and I handle corporate sales for Step. I also have with me Rini Rafi, who's a marketing manager at Step. She's on the chat. Firstly, I would like to familiarize you with the portal. You would see a chat window wherein you can interact with each other, you can ask me questions, you can throw your comments in. You would also see a sticky note on the left in yellow color. So, time to time, we will be sharing any important links or information for you. So, you could also check out the sticky note from time to time. We would also be introducing a few polls in between just to get your feedback on a few things. So, you could watch out for that too. So, again, thank you so much for joining. We have a very interesting mix of audience today. We have HR heads, we have managers, and we have executives of different organizations. We also have individuals who are working professionals looking to understand how they can upskill. So, I believe all of you are working from home, right? I am too. To start with, I'd like to know how are you all dealing with this phase? What are the initiatives that you have taken to invest in yourself, both personally and professionally? I would love to know your comments. Please do use the chat window. So, how have you been using this time to invest in yourself, both personally and professionally? Krishna, nice to know that you are using this time usefully. Suman says Coursera. So we would love to know what is the sort of courses that you're picking up right now. Tarun says he's reading and working online, trying to improve writing too. That's great. Krishnan says like this type of webinar. Oh, that's very cool. Thank you for joining. Madhavi says using LinkedIn Learning to upgrade skill. That's great. Sonal says it has been quite a detox period for us to slow the track and adjust. I agree, absolutely. I feel this is one of the most important times for us to refocus our energies on what is important. Vinu is reading all the books in his bucket list. That's great. My bucket list is so long, I don't know if I can ever finish it, but I'm working on it. Bijya is learning new languages and already in mid of an AI course. That's very cool. Sandeep is going through meditation classes. Wow. Mohit is personally spending time with his 1-year-old daughter. Sharat is also looking at. Cool. So I see that everybody is using this time to invest in themselves. So, which takes me to the next question. Why upskill? Why do you think it's necessary for us to upskill ourselves and our employees? Thank you all for your comments and reading all of them. I'd like to know, why do you think it's so important to upskill oneself? Change is the only constant. Very true. Sharat says it's important because we all of us need to compete in this highly competitive world. That's right. So I'm going to throw some data at you. Thank you so much for your responses. So there is a report called Future of Jobs report, which is published by the World Economic Forum. According to the report in 2018, 54% of India's employees in 12 sectors need reskilling by 2022. So this same report estimated that the Indian workforce will need close to 100 days spent on reskilling its vast workforce to prepare itself for the fourth industrial revolution. NASCOM estimates that with growing automation, about 50 to 60% of the Indian workforce will require reskilling on a continual basis. So, so why upskill? India is at a crucial crossroad, right? We have to ensure that this skill gap is addressed both quantitatively as well as qualitatively. At this point in time, skilling is no more a matter of choice. In this competitive digital era, where the future of work is so uncertain, skilling is compulsory to create that futuristic workforce that is adept with the necessary skills and knowledge. And the real question to ask is, why not upskill, especially considering how big the payoff is in creating a highly skilled workforce. We're already seeing a substantial growth in the careers and salaries of professionals at whichever level they are, whether they're juniors, mid level, or senior level. We're seeing a substantial growth in their careers. All of those who are investing their money and time in upskilling and reskilling themselves on the job. Not just individuals, organizations that invest in upskilling and reskilling the employees create a knowledgeable and proactive workforce who are up to date with the industry trends. And because of this, their employees are happier in their roles, and that boosts their morals, which in turn reduces attrition rate. So happy employees lead to happy customers, and high customer satisfaction ensures business growth, right? So I have another poll for you guys. I hope this appears on your screen. So, do you think this skill gap that I just spoke of, do you think that affects your business? I hope you're seeing a poll on the screen. Please do let me know if you aren't. So, the question is, do you think this skill gap affects your revenue? Please let me know if you think yes or no. So, resounding yes. Yeah, yes, Sonal, it will leave us paralyzed on competition if we do not upskill ourselves. You're absolutely right. So, I'm closing the poll now. So 96% of you have said that yes, the skill gap does affect the revenue. And thank you again for all your responses on the chat. Um, so we asked this question to HR leaders across organizations, across sectors in India. We asked them, are the communication skills of your employees impacting your business? And the same answer that we got. We had HR leaders tell us that yes, communication skills is a very important skill to have, and that impacts their business. In fact, 68% said that communication skills directly affect their brand. 56% of the respondents said that it affects the revenue. 68% said communication skills of their employees affects internal communication, and 60% said it affects operations. And we also asked them, where do you see this English skill gap in your organization? or in which function do you see this most, or how large is the skill gap in your different functions? So according to the survey, according to the results that we got from the survey, we saw that there is a skill gap, a communication skill gap of 53.5% in sales, 46% in product development, 32% in customer services, and 21% in marketing. So we are seeing the highest skill gap in sales. So my next question is, so we why upskill now, right? So upskilling is so important, but why should it be the priority now? Because with COVID-19, we are facing one of the biggest corporate challenges we have seen in recent decades. But people centric organizations across the world are rebooting and getting smarter. I'm just going to show you another exhibit which I've picked from a BCG publication. So this was published last month. It shows how effective people-centric solutions can play a big part in helping individual companies find their way out of the crisis. So broadly, they focused on three responses, three solutions. You focus on people health, you focus on workforce readiness, you focus on communication and support culture. And under workforce readiness, one of the key solutions was to manage individual employee downtime. So with employees working from home now, it is important for organizations to chart a plan for each employee's learning and development through e-learning courses that can help them upskill. We also looked at organizations across the world who are doing exactly this. So you could see from the slide that Ola has asked their employees to dedicate 4 hours a day to work for self, to focus on self improvement. Flipkart, on the other hand, is tying up with soft skill companies to enable employee upskilling. Not just these companies, organizations like McDonald's India, Schneider, Hexaware, HDFC Bank, Mondelez, all of them are introducing a very unique work from home policy wherein they are introducing e-learning modules to sort of upskill their employees. And it's not just these organizations that we are working to. We're seeing them relentlessly working to create modules that would be most effective for their employees at this point in time. And all of them are being delivered through different mediums. I will get into it in the further slides. So this is where I want to introduce STEP and let you know how can we really help. So STEP is a division of the Hindu group. We're focused on English language skill development. We launched in 2016. We have hit around 1.35 million users across India. We provide customized training solutions to our corporate clients on English communication and workplace communication skills. We have partnered with some of the biggest brands across sectors, such as Shoppers Stop, Bank of America, HCL, Ford Motor, TVS and Sons, to name a few. Um, so how do we really work? We start with a baseline assessment for our learners, our participants, to really understand what is their current level of English proficiency. Once we understand the current level of English proficiency, we offer customized training solutions to our learners. I will go into detail in the further slides. So when I say customized training solutions, we have e-learning modules, we have a webinar module, we also have a training program that we deliver over phone. Once the training is completed, we again have an end-line assessment, which is more or less similar to the baseline assessment, and that helps us understand how much does a learner improve through the training. And post that, we give them a certificate from the Hindu group. So this is how, very broadly speaking, this is how we really work with learners and organizations. There is a scale called CEFR, Common European Framework of Reference. It ranges from A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, and C2. CEFR is a global standard for any language proficiency, and we've created a scale called STEP scale ranging from 1 to 12, and we've benchmarked that to the CEFR standard. So you would see that the CEFR levels as well as STEP levels are they correspond to a particular level, which shows whether a learner is at a beginner or an elementary or an intermediate, upper intermediate, advanced or mastery level. So, step plus, I'm going to start with the assessment, the first piece that I had spoken of, right? The step one, which is the baseline assessment. The assessment that we do is called Step Plus. It is a 60 to 70-minute long assessment which assesses the listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills of a learner. Like I said, it takes around 60 to 70 minutes for the assessment. It's something that you can take online on desktop or on your app. We are available on Android, not yet there on iPhone yet. So once you're done with the assessment, it lets us know what is your current level of English proficiency in each of the four skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So it gives you a score out of 12 in each of these skills and also a consolidated score out of 12. And once the assessment is done, based on your current proficiency levels, the training program is customized. So today I'm going to speak to you about four training modules. We have two e-learning modules, one webinar and one coach. So to start with, the first module that I'd like to speak about is Step Train at Work. Step Train at Work is our 40-hour online self-learning program, which focuses on the individual requirements of a learner. So once the assessment is done and we understand what your current level of English proficiency is, the training program is customized based on your current level. For example, if I take the assessment and I'm at a 6 out of 12, then my content is customized to a level of 6 for me. Whereas if you take the assessment and say you're at a 4 out of 12 or a 9 out of 12, then your training program is customized accordingly. So the content is very personalized to each learner and it focuses on the strengths and weaknesses of each user. We So Step Train at Work program largely focuses on listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills, along with grammar and vocabulary in a workplace context. So I'll go a little bit more into detail of what are the different areas that we cover in this course in the next slide. But I'd also like to mention here that throughout the 40-hour course, we have practice tests. In fact, after every 2 units, we have practice tests, which can be monitored by the organization on a regular basis. An admin dashboard is provided to the admin person or the individual who drives the program in the organization, who can track the progress of each learner. Um, and we also give them a certificate from the Hindu group on completion of the course and certification test. So, what is really covered in the Step Train at Work program? We cover four modules: write better, speak better, vocabulary, and grammar. So, I'm going to take you through a video where we cover writing skills.
Hi, good day. This video will be all about creating an effective email which rests on how well you structure the body of the mail. The most important aspect of the email is organizing the email itself. Whenever you sit down to write an email, take a few seconds to ask yourself, why am I sending this? What do I need from the recipient? Clear emails always have a clear purpose. The second mistake most people make is to build up to a conclusion when they write. You discover the purpose of the email right at the end of it. This makes it very difficult for readers to figure out what they need to do with the email. And the longer the email messages, the more difficulty people can have understanding the main point. The solution is to put that main request or point in the very first line of your message. This reduces the chance of it being confusing or being missed out by the recipient. By placing the main point, assignment, or request in the first line of the email, you guarantee that it will be read. There are reports that say that 70% of readers skim through the email. They don't look at it in detail, instead, go by keywords. So, have a clear call to action. This means that in the first sentence,
Um, Was the audio, was it audible to everyone? Okay, cool. Volume is very low. Okay. I'm getting mixed answers. Okay, cool. I will increase the volume in the next video. Right. So what we saw was a video on writing better. So this is from one of our modules called organizing an email. I would also like you to check out another video on how you can use tone in your workplace communication.
Hi, Anila. We have a meeting with the contractors for the studio today. Please make sure all the plans are in order. Thank you. Have a nice day. Anila, we have a meeting with the contractors for the studio today. Make sure all the plans are in order.
Wow, the same thing was said in both cases. But wasn't the effect of what was said so different in both cases? Who knew that the tone in which something is said could make such a difference? It's the same when it comes to emails too. For example, using capital letters in an email can change the tone completely. Let's find out more about what affects the tone of an email.
I hope that was audible to everybody. Okay, so to continue with the presentation, yeah, all right, cool. So I had increased the volume a little bit. Okay, okay. So those were just two videos that we picked out of the Write Better modules. Like I mentioned, we also covered modules on speaking skills. So in the Train at Work program, when I say speaking skills, it focuses on scenarios that are relevant to speaking in a workplace context. So that would mean how do you make a presentation, or how do you speak to a client, or how do you handle meetings. I have a video that I'm going to share, which is on handling meetings. It's something that all of us are very familiar with. So I'm just going to show that to you.
Hi all, welcome to another video in the Speak Better segment. In today's video, we will be looking at an aspect of work which we all must have faced, participating in meetings. Have you ever faced a situation in a meeting when you wanted to express an opinion but had no idea how to begin? Well, in case your answer is yes, don't worry. Today, we will be looking at some phrases that would help you smoothly handle meetings. Whether you're leading or participating in a meeting, it is critical that you put forth your ideas without hassle. First, let's look at some ways to express your opinion in a meeting. Let's say you have a strong opinion about a statement that somebody has made. In such a case, when you're very confident and sure about whatever you're saying, you could use any of the following expressions. There's no question that, I'm convinced that, I have no doubt whatsoever. But sometimes you may have to express an opinion that you're not very sure about or you haven't thought very deeply about. In such an instance,
I hope you guys like the video. Um, so that was from the Speak Better module. So similarly, in the Train at Work program, we have units on writing better, speaking better, building vocabulary and grammar. And when I say grammar, it again is relevant to your current proficiency levels, right? So we on at a basic level we cover topics like nouns, prepositions, verbs. At an intermediate level it could be modals, quantifiers, conditionals. At an advanced level it could be active or passive voice, or confusing form of adverbs. But very broadly, the different modules that we cover are on writing, speaking, vocabulary and grammar. Overall, we have a duration of 40 hours for the training. We start with the baseline assessment. Based on your levels, the training program is customized. So you get 40 hours of content with multiple practice tests in between the training program, post which you have another end-line assessment, and then we end with a certificate. So this is about the STEP Train at Work program. I would like to understand if you have any doubts on this particular course, because we're next going to move on to another course. Cool. Looks like there are no questions. I'm going to move on to the next course, which is Step for Sales Professionals. Step for Sales Professionals is one of our recent products. We launched this in March 2020, which is last month. Step for Sales Professionals is also a 40-day online self-learning course, which is specifically targeted for sales professionals. The course helps the learners develop the language skills and the vocabulary that are required um, any portion of a sales process. So it takes them to the entire context. It takes them through context across the sales pipeline. So whether you're talking about at an awareness stage where a sales professional has to make a cold call, or has to write a cold email, or do small talk with the client, or build rapport with the client. Or if we're talking about this next stage, which is a pitch stage, where you have to talk about the products and services, whether you have to talk about the benefits of your product, or the consideration stage where you have to understand the customer, you have to help them make a decision, or the negotiation or and closing stage. So we take the learner through these different stages. We take context that are based out of these different stages. And we also include the post purchase or the customer service phase, wherein you have to address a lot of grievances of the customer. So it really takes the learner across the sales pipeline from the awareness stage to the post purchase or the customer service stage. Um, we also cover both B2B as well as B2C sales scenarios, and the content is entirely set in an Indian context. Very similar to the STEP Train at Work program, STEP for Sales Professionals also starts with an initial assessment. We have multiple video lessons. In fact, we have 6 units with 11 lessons per unit and a practice test in each unit. And once the video lessons are done, we again have a certification test and we give them a certificate from the Hindu group. So this is an overall, at a very broad level, this is what Step for Sales Professionals would contain. You also, just like the Step Train at Work program, we provide continuous monitoring with video cycle tests and practice tests every week. An admin dashboard will be provided to the admin um, to track the progress of each learner. And we also provide them with a certificate from the Hindu group after they complete the program. So Step for Sales Professional, like I mentioned, it contains modules that give you a practical strategy on how to develop social skills. So the course includes immersive lessons on building a sales pitch, on refining a sales pitch, and also on relationship management. We have 6 units altogether. There are 11 lessons in each unit, and each unit covers uh, programs that are across listening skills, speaking, writing, presentation skills, and grammar. There is also one practice test per unit. So when I say building a sales pitch, so what are the topics that are actually covered in this particular unit? So things like how do you introduce yourself and your product or your company? How do you explain to the customer the different benefits of your product? How do you compare your product to the competitor? So multiple skills that all of the sales professionals know that needs to be used throughout the sales pipeline. This is included in this particular module. I'd like to show you a video on um, building a sales pitch. So this video is going to be on how do you introduce your product.
Hello, sir. Take a seat. Thank you. So, Vikram, what is the agenda of this meeting?
Well, sir, I would like to discuss a business proposal with you. Capital Link has been in the Indian market for the past 10 years. I'm pretty sure that you have heard about us. We are one of the most successful investment companies in India. India Business Awards ranked us as the safest investment firm last year. I have been associated with Capital Link for the past 8 years. At Capital Link, I manage a group of portfolios through which I make lucrative investment decisions that will give my investors maximum returns. Even with high risk investments and fluctuating market conditions, I have always managed to deliver best returns to my customers. My investment records are impeccable and I have many prestigious customers who can vouch for this. I would be delighted if you can give me an opportunity to work with you.
Hmm, interesting. But I'm not sure if I want to invest now. The market doesn't seem to be stable now. I might just wait it out.
Oh, I completely understand that, but you are about to sign a deal with a firm to expand your business. I have a very interesting portfolio that would work perfectly with the investment decisions you have in mind.
Vikram, I'm not interested to take more risk than I have to at this point. So, unless you have a solid plan, I'm not going to proceed with this.
Give me just 2 minutes to explain this to you. One thing that puts off investors, apart from high risk, is that there are components that are not handpicked.
So I hope you really like that video. It's a favorite of mine. So it talks about how so it's a real life example, right, where you can see how a sales professional is trying to convince the client that his product is one of the best, and he's trying to explain the product and the product benefits. It's a little complicated. Um, Srilekha, I'm sorry you're facing connection issues. Yeah, so that was a video on how to introduce your product. I'm going to show you another video from the same module on building a sales pitch, which is of which is about helping an indecisive customer. So this is in B2C sales context.
Hi, good evening, ma'am. How may I help you? I want to buy a wallet, please. We have a variety of models in various colors and they range from rupees 150 to rupees 2000. If you let me know your budget, I will show you wallets within that range.
Hmm, I don't know. 700, 800. I guess anything less than 1000 should be fine.
Sure, ma'am. Is this wallet for yourself or is it a gift?
I'm getting this for myself.
Please take a look at this one, ma'am. It has an ikat print, which is really in vogue right now. It's a great choice if you want to make a fashion statement.
Hmm, I don't think it's worth rupees 1000. Can you show me something else?
Sure. Do you have any color preference?
I don't know. Nothing in particular, I guess.
Okay. Would you prefer one with a hand strap or one without?
No, I would rather look at one without a hand strap.
Great. We have these compact ones in two-fold and in three-fold. The three-fold wallet has more space for storing bank cards and business cards. Do you want to take a look at these?
Not really. I don't carry around a lot of cards in my wallet. I use cash most of the time.
In that case, let me show you some pieces that have ample space in it for keeping cash. It has specific compartments for storing coins as well.
Oh, this looks nice. Can you show me some more of this type?
Sure, ma'am. Oh, another thing I wanted to check. Would you like to keep your mobile phone in the wallet?
Oh, of course. It should be big enough.
Um, Christian, I'm sorry, the volume was at its max. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. That was a video on how sales professionals trying to help out a customer make a decision. And how exactly is she doing it? She's trying to ask questions that pertain to the customer's choices to really try and understand what is the customer looking for so that she can make the offerings that are tailored to the customer's preferences. Um, So those were a few videos from building a sales pitch portion. Next up, we have refining a sales pitch, which talks about how to use the right tone and modulation while you are communicating to your clients, how to practice active listening. That is a skill that I can entirely vouch for. So how do you really understand what is the client looking for, right? How do you read between the lines? I have another video on it. Um,
So I felt that I should be taking a second look at the brochure I procured at your office. I've gone through almost all the policies you suggested in detail, but I'm not convinced any of them are the right fit for me.
All right, ma'am. Could you share some of your concerns?
While my chronic respiratory issues result in the inevitable routine checkups, which aren't under the ambit of most of your plans. Out of the rest, three have premiums that are beyond my means, and the only one left is not accepted at the hospital I frequent, Moira Healthcare.
You haven't been able to find a plan that covers routine checkups, is valid at Moira, and has an affordable premium.
Yes, there's one plan, Silverline, that does come close to my budget for premium. However, it doesn't cover dental.
Would you consider coverage for dental a deal breaker, ma'am?
Not really. I can do without dental, but the premium is still a bit on the higher side.
Okay. So, the plan you're referring to covers some rare case scenarios. If you're okay with removing those from the plan, I could work out a lower premium. But I need to clear that with my boss. She's out of town and will only be reachable tomorrow.
I'll need to read up a bit more about these scenarios. I will get back to you by the end of the day then.
Sure, take your time, ma'am. Before you take your leave, a quick recap. Your ideal plan covers routine checkups, should be accepted at Moira. Dental isn't really a deal breaker, so the closest option we have is Silverline. A lower premium could be worked out if we remove the rare disorder screenings from the coverage. I'll send a follow up by tonight so you can respond with your decision.
Sounds great. Thank you very much.
The pleasure's mine, ma'am.
Did you watch the conversation between Parvati, the client, and Akshaya, the salesperson? They were in a meeting to discuss Parvati's requirements from Akshaya's company. Did you notice anything special about the way Akshaya was behaving during her interaction with Parvati? Throughout the meeting, Akshaya demonstrated a technique called active listening. Listening to their client with utmost attention is a skill that every sales professional needs to have. All of us often think that listening is easy. You listen to another person talking and just absorb what they say. But that is a rather passive process, don't you think? As a listener, you merely sit in a chair and receive information from a speaker. Listening, in fact, is a two-way process. Not only should you fully listen to your client, you should also make the client feel like they are being listened to. That means you have to.
I'm sorry, wasn't the volume high enough? Was the video audible to everybody? Okay, moving on. So that was another video that we picked up from the refining a sales pitch. Okay, thank you guys. Um, so that was a video that we picked up from a refining a sales pitch unit. So these are just few of the topics that we cover there. Apart from active listening, we also have writing skills. How do you write effective emails? How do you deal with customer complaints? How do you use the right grammar concepts? How do you deal with difficult customers and unpleasant conversations? And how do you update your sales pitch with industry data? The next component that we cover in the Steps for Sales Professional course is relationship management. How do you manage client expectations? How do you understand a customer's needs? Reading between the lines in different sales situations, managing conflicting customer demands. So, all of these are components that are included in the relationship management module. So, that is about Step for Sales Professional. Like I had mentioned, we have this is again a 40-day course where we cover um, topics that cover the entire customer journey, right from the stages of awareness, consideration, purchase, and post purchase. Um, and Very broadly speaking, the topics that we cover are on building a sales pitch, refining a sales pitch, and relationship management. So I'm moving on to the next course. If you have any questions on this, please do add that in the chat window. Okay, I'm assuming no questions. I'm going to move on to the next module. So far we've covered in the training modules, we've covered two courses, two e-learning courses. Number one is Step Train at Work, which focuses on general English skills and workplace communication skills. And number two is Step for Sales Professionals, which is again a course that focuses on English language training for specifically for sales professionals. Both of these are online self-learning program. The next module that I'm going to talk about is Step Live. Yeah. So the next module that I'm going to speak of is Step Live, which is our webinar course. Now, this is something that we offer to our customers in addition to the online courses, or you can also purchase this as an individual independent component. So in Step Live, it's basically a webinar. The portal that we use is exactly the same one that you are on right now. So the trainer would pick topics that you would be interested in organizing for your employees, and your employees could log in at a scheduled date and time. The trainer would be on this end, and the trainer would go ahead training the employees on particular topics that are picked up by you. The employees could interact with the trainer via chat, but they will not be able to speak back to the trainer. And again, this particular portal can be accessed on laptop, tablet, or any mobile convenient for large teams spread over many cities. Like I said, the topics that are chosen for the Step Live sessions, they are customizable based on the specific request of the organization. So if you say that, hey, we have around 40 employees, 40 sales professionals who need training on so and so topics, then our trainers can provide you training on those specific topics. So it's very customizable. Um, and the number of sessions is also customizable. The topics as well as the number of sessions. Sorry. The next program that I want to speak about is Step Coach. Step Coach is basically a phone conversation that a trainer has with the learner. Um, so these are one-on-one phone conversations. This is actually one of our most premium product and one that is preferred by most corporates across India because it gives you that individual attention from the trainer. So you directly interact with the English expert over phone. It's extremely adaptable to that particular individual user's requirement, and it's a very immersive experience. We typically do around 10 coach calls for our corporate clients, five of them which focus on speaking skills and five of them which focus on writing skills. But that said, again, this is customizable. So if you have a speaking skill call today You would be given an assignment post that which you will have to complete to schedule the next call on writing. So again, it's entirely because it's a one-on-one conversation. It's a very immersive experience, and the content and the training is very specific to your requirement. So this is the last module that I had to cover, which was step coach. Um, So again, I'd like to revisit how we work. We start with a baseline assessment. Number two, we have these four training solutions that I presented to you today. Number one is Step Train at Work, the online e-learning program. Then we have the Step for Sales Professional, we have Step Live, and we have Step Coach. It's up to you on. So we customize these programs based on the client's requirement. So if you're saying that you only want to look at an online module, that is possible. If you'd like to tie up one of the e-learning modules along with Step Coach, that is possible. If you're looking at online e-learning, Step Live, and Step Coach, that's possible too. So we are very flexible that way in that we try and understand the client's requirement, and we are open to customizing the program based on it. And once the training is completed, which is a mix of any of this, we again have an inline assessment, and then we give a certificate from the Hindu group. Coming to the pricing aspect of it, the Step Train at Work program, which I had mentioned, which includes baseline assessment, the 40 hours of online training, inline assessment, and certification, is priced at 2,500. The MRP is 2,500 per license. Which we are currently offering at 1,000 rupees per license. Step for Sales Professionals, which is the 40-hour online course for sales professionals, which covers baseline assessment, the 40-hour online training, inline assessment, and certification, which is priced at 3,500 per license, is currently offered at 2,500. Step at Work plus Step Live, which includes baseline assessment, the online self learning program, which could be either Step for Sales Professionals or Step Train at Work, along with 10 live sessions, online assessment, and certification, which is priced at 4,000, is currently offered at 3,000. And Step at Work with 10 coach calls, 10 one on one coach calls, which is usually priced at 6,000, is now offered at 5,000. So all of these these are the default programs that we offer, which is the online plus 10 live sessions, online plus 10 coach calls, which, like I said, is entirely customizable. So if you're looking at just 5 coach calls, or maybe 6, or maybe 15 live sessions, we can definitely arrange for that. So all of the rates that I've mentioned are exclusive of tax. The offer prices that I've mentioned are for a minimum purchase of 50 licenses. Um, so that is about the pricing. Syed, you have a question? Sorry, I missed it. Do you have anything for experienced sales professional? So the course that I had mentioned, Step for Sales Professional, can also be used by an experienced sales professional, um, because because the content is, it's open for anyone who, whether you're at a junior, mid, or senior level, the content is relevant for you, because like I said, it covers context across the sales cycle, right? And it doesn't really depend on your English proficiency. So I would say that yes, the product is also useful for an experienced professional. We would love to have a conversation with you post the webinar and understand your specific requirement, what is like the experience level that you're speaking of, and then take this forward. So that's about the pricing. So then the next question is what next, right? So if you are a HR executive at a junior, mid, or senior level, we would love to take step to your organization to benefit your employees. How can we partner? There are two ways we can do this. We would love to have a conversation with you to understand your training needs and budgets and create a customized course specific to your organization, which we can then together roll out to your employees. Or number two, if you would like to take this program to your employees, but would like them to take the initiative to upskill themselves by purchasing the program directly, we would again be glad to roll this out to your employees together with you. If you are an individual, working professional, looking to purchase this course for yourself, we are here to help you too. Um, I'm going to copy a link on the sticky note. Yeah, so there is a link on the sticky note, the um, yellow colored note on your right next to your chat window. Um, so we welcome you to register your interest in any of the courses that I had spoken of right now. We would get back to you. We would follow up with you in a day to understand what are your specific needs and how you would like to proceed and take these courses to your employees, or even if it's for yourself as an individual. We would love to understand how we could partner with you. Thank you, Sayed. Any other questions that anyone might have on? Thank you, Krishnan. So you can register your interest in the link that Rini has shared. Once you register your interest, we will be reaching out to you in a day and to understand your specific requirements. And we will also be sharing a demo of both the STEP Train at Work as well as STEP for Sales professional courses, so that you can take a look at our portal, take a look at the video, and see how that really feels and if it's relevant for your audience. We will also share the course outline for the training that we provide for both STEP Coach and STEP Live modules, so you have an understanding on what are the different topics that we currently cover. If you have any requirement that is out of it, you could always reach out to us, and we can um, we can look at, provide training for that particular requirement. Thank you, Srilekha. Um, um, Thank you, Mukesh. Thank you, Ramachandran. Yes, Sushil will be in touch with you, Nagesh. Uh, you can reach out to him with any questions or queries. Um, Said, how different is this from Bulat's? So, while the content that is tested this is the same, and both the tests, both the assessment, Step Plus as well as Bulat's is benchmarked to the CFR standard, and both of us test listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Step Plus questions are the questions, the content that we have in the Step Plus diagnostic assessment are more on an Indian context. So I would say that that is one of the major differences. So whether it is our assessment program or our training program, what we're focusing on is the entire content is made in-house, and it is made for Indians by Indians. So there is the context is very different as compared to bullets. Thank you, everyone. I hope there are no more questions. Thank you, everyone, for joining the webinar. I hope this was useful for you. Like I mentioned, if you're interested in knowing more about the courses that we have and how we could partner with your organization, please do register your interest in the link that Rini has shared on the sticky note. Srilekha, you mentioned that your employees are facing internet issues. Um, So almost all of the courses that I mentioned, whether it's Step Plus assessment or the Step Train at Work program or Step Live, will require a decent 3G or 4G internet connection for the training program to be effectively taken by the learner. Um, what an alternative is Step Coach, right? Because that is it's just a regular call that you schedule, and it's something that can be done over the phone. I'm sorry, Nagesh, I haven't heard of Chipper Sage. I will definitely check them out. All right, so it's 5:30. I'm glad I could finish on time. Um, Please do reach out to us at any point in time if you have any further queries. I'm just going to include my contact details here too. Um, If you have a requirement, if not immediate, if any time in the future, please do reach out. If you have an immediate requirement, please do fill up the form and we will reach out to you in 24 hours. So thank you everyone for participating. I had a great time. I hope you had a great time too. Thank you, Rini. Um, have a great week ahead. Thank you so much.